What's going on, guys? It's Johnny here, and today we're going to be making some protein energy balls. My balls are nice and nutty, peanut buttery and Nutella-y, and they taste great. So I'll show you guys how I make them. I do enjoy them as a snack. Pre-workout sometimes, after workout, it's just get something quick into you. So yeah, anyway, before we start this, we've got to get ourselves changed into our clothes, so let's do that. Alright, so now we're dressed, ready for it. We've got ourselves our nice little chef shirt, so let's get stuck into it. So ingredients wise, everything will be listed here. Otherwise, you can go down to the description below if you need to relook at that, if you didn't be bothered to pause on that. So let's get into it. So start with 1.5 cups of oats. I prefer using rolled oats. You can use other oats, but I find these ones sort of bind a little bit better. So bang, 1.5, done. Next up, we want to get ourselves 2 scoops of protein powder. Now I use chocolate protein powder. You can use vanilla and change up the flavor of this, but I prefer making them chocolate, so I'm going to use some anabolics. No, there's nothing there. It's just, this is the one that I prefer, as it's probably the more sweeter one that I've found. So 2 scoops of your favorite protein, or you can add more, add less. It'll change the protein content and the calorie count, of course, so it's completely up to you. There's no rules. Okay, so once you've done that, go ahead, grab yourself some chia seeds. Just get 1 tablespoon in there. Bam. So I always prefer adding all the dry ingredients first and then adding the wet ones to it. So that way you can mix it all together a little bit more easily. So that's why I do it this way. Now next you want to get a teaspoon of cinnamon, or however much you want. I just eye it because, I mean, it's a spice. It doesn't really make a difference. So I've got that in. Next up, you can add whatever you want to it. I prefer using walnuts. Obviously you will lower the calories significantly if you don't use walnuts, because these are actually very high calorie food to be using in it. So you can substitute it, use raisins, like all that sort of stuff, if you prefer to go that fruity sort of way. I prefer having nuts in mine. So yeah, I'm going to use some walnuts, and I prefer to blend it up, not too fine, but just enough that it's not going to just be this massive clump in the middle of it all, because otherwise it won't bind together, obviously. So in the blender with I go about 40 grams. 41 grams, it's close enough. That should just as well be enough. If there is any clumps in it, you can always get it out later on. You don't have to make it so everything else is heaps fine just to get the bigger clumps broken down. So you can always pick them out later on if there is massive clumps still. So now you're going to get a little bit dirty, so quickly just blend all that together. Use your filthy hands. Everyone knows they're filthy. Nah, I clean my hands before I do this. I'm not that much of an animal. Okay, once that's all mixed together, get yourself 3 tablespoons of honey. Use natural honey. Don't use your little Coles one or Woolies one that's full of all the sugars. Try to use like someone that's from your local area that actually produces honey from the hives, because it make it taste nicer, and you're helping out your small communities as well, so that gets a thumbs up. That one's ruined now. On to the next one. So now you want to get 1 tablespoon peanut butter in there, bit of flavour. I use a more natural one. It's healthier, got more protein in it, doesn't have all the nasties in it as well. So if you can do that way, then you're saving yourself a lot of hassle and you're having a lot healthier of a ball. Alright, and then you want to add some almond milk. Not much. Just enough to get it so it continues to be a little bit moist, but you don't want it to be too damp that it's all clumped, like all falling around. You want to make sure that it's still firm enough that you can actually turn it into a ball. So sort of start off with, just add a tiny bit. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. And then get dirty, once again, hands in, mix it around. You'll get it stuck to your hands, but you can always lick it off. It tastes good. Okay, so now you should have something a little bit like this. Should be able to have it in one big ball, not falling apart on you, and it should still feel reasonably sticky. So now what I like to do is get yourself some fine coconut, and then I like to just give my board a little sprinkle, and then you want to start making them into little balls. So this is probably the size ball that you'd want. So, I mean, everyone's hand varies, I guess. So it's pretty much the size of what you'd pick up at the shops. That's what you want to be aiming for. So it's still the same size as what you'd usually go for. So you can make them bigger, smaller, however many you want. But that's the size I prefer to go for. And then you just roll it around in the coconut and set it aside. Alright guys, so you should now have yourself something looking a little bit like this. Now this recipe usually gets me about 14 to 15 balls. I've made 14 here because I made some a little bit bigger than usual, but that's not to worry. 14, 15, that's sort of what you want. Now, technically you are actually finished, but I like to get a little bit cheeky, as a lot of you guys probably do, and add a little bit more flavour to it. Not much, so get some Nutella, heat it up, and just do a nice little drizzle right over the top of it. Okay, and now once you put the Nutella on it, if you decided to, have something like this. And now what you want to do is you want to throw these into the fridge, refrigerate them for about 20 minutes before serving. Otherwise you can have it now, but it'll just be a little bit more gooey. So chuck them into the fridge, 20 minutes, and then they'll be perfect. So let's go ahead and do that, and then get one out for the taste test. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes, they're refrigerated, they're ready to go, so let's give it a taste test. These taste amazing. And like I said, high protein, sort of moderate calories. These ones make about 130 calories per one, and about, I think it's 9 grams of protein. So make some of these, get some gains. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment any feedback down below if you enjoyed it or not. If you want to see more of these types of videos, then be sure to let me know. And if you're new around here, don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button for more content weekly. See you all next time.